I've also went ahead and configured these. Initially, some of these icons were not mounted. So what you simply do is right-click on this, and then, for example, we can go ahead and open up the pmount app, and then I prefer to have all my other partitions mount on automatically on boot. So I go ahead and mount partition on boot. So this is the first, and this second, this is where the puppylinux SFS files are here. And then save, this gets mounted because a save folder here, it gets mounted automatically. And then this is the data, so the my photos and documents and music and so on. So I want that mounted, so I just make sure that it has a click, so then it gets mounted. Take a look at the save folder. So we can go ahead and open up the save folder, and you can ignore these SFS files because these SFS files are right now they're not mounted, but you see them here. So under save folder, as I mentioned, there are basically two, FossaPup and the KineticPup, and within each I have several save folders. And upupkk has to do with the KineticPup save folder. So we can go ahead and delete this. It's irrelevant to our discussion here. And right now it's using so up save folder. There are two dsave folders. Here's one, and this is actually from another machine, which is a legacy BIOS. So it's actually not being used at all, but it's loaded. This is using this save folder. So any change we make here is going to be again loaded into this folder. So I've using this folder now presently. So we can take a look at here's a save folder that's being used, and we can just go ahead and open up. So we'll make it a smaller icon, and Control H to look at all the hidden files. All this information actually is right in here. Okay, so we can take a look at the similar root folder from another save folder on from using the same KineticPup32, but from another machine, and we can just open that up, and then we can look at the root folder again, and we can go ahead and Control H. So this is pretty much the same root folder information that actually works in another machine, and this is root folder that we're using right at this time. So I know I have a URXVT configuration within X defaults, and although this uses LX terminal, but I like to use URXVT as a default terminal in my machine. So we'll go ahead and copy this and then overwrite into X defaults here. So we'll go ahead and overwrite, and then similarly I have we can go ahead and copy .gtkrc this this file, and this file is a picture file. What this files will do is I'll go ahead and copy this over here, and then we'll just copy them all. What this will do is this has to do with the configuring the rocks background. Right now it's a white, but I prefer to have dark background. So once you go ahead and reboot later, we'll change the color of the background and rocks file manager. And then because there's no My Pictures folder here, I will go ahead and I prefer to have My Picture folder, and then also Pixel 4 folder here, and that I use extensively when I edit the photos. So we'll go ahead and copy that over, and then I'll just Control and then click with your left mouse. And then similarly, I like to go ahead and override startup folder, because it has a right now it has several, so right now I don't need this. I also prefer not to have the startup folder, a startup sound that's automatic. I will go ahead and erase that. And then I don't need the temperature information. And this Redshift GUI tray does not work, so we'll go ahead and actually we just go ahead and delete here. That way we don't even have to copy the this startup folder. So, and then we'll go back, so we won't need to copy that over. I do use the trash folder, which is not present here. So, and then under my application, there is a there's a bin folder which is pretty much empty presently, but I do have all my bash scripts here, so I do need that under we'll copy that over. So, and then icon GFTP has to do with a folder that I use when I download photos from Pixel 4 into my machine. So that's already configured, so we'll go ahead and also similarly we'll copy of the fonts, and then I think that's pretty much it. And then we'll just drag the whole thing, Control and then left shift and drag it into here, and it'll just pretty much copy everything here. Okay, and there was one error, but that's okay. Okay, so we're quickly adding all my scripts, and also within configuration there is a rocks filer here. So this has with a configuration file of the different programs. So I've already had many programs configured where I prefer, and it's much quicker if I erase the rocks file configuration here rather than over copying over. So we'll just go ahead and erase that, and then we'll grab from here rocks, Genie, and ViewNor, which is a picture file, and then we'll go ahead and drag this over, and then let it go ahead and copy that, or merge and copy. Okay, brief. Okay, and then you get a little error here, so but that's all okay. And then we can go ahead and look at the configure .config and auto start folder, and then we'll go ahead and erase some of the, we don't need the BAK. I don't really need the free mem power applet. I don't need. This is the volume control firewall status I don't need. This has to do with the network and Wi-Fi. I don't use Parselite. We'll go ahead and this, and then this ZRF has to do with the multiple screen, which I don't use. So we'll go ahead and delete all that from the auto start folder. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now we'll go back out and then back out again. So let's take a look at the .jwm. So we'll go .jwm. Now I use a keyboard extensively to launch programs and to close the programs and so on. So and that all my personal information of my own keyboard is under jwm/personnel. So simply what I can do is just go ahead and drag this over, which is I know works on another machine, and then go ahead and drag this over and overwrite it. Okay, so yes, okay, so now the configuration file has been copied over. Puppy package manager, and then we'll go ahead and refresh, enter, refresh the package, all the packages. We'll go ahead and we're not going to install web browser using this program, so we'll just go ahead and continue to Puppy Package Manager. Now I do use Rofi as a launcher, so we'll go ahead and enter Rofi, and we'll have to get a and then we'll put this in alphabetical order so we can find Rofi quickly. So come on, R. Okay, here it is, Rofi. We'll go ahead and install that, and that way on a next boot I will have a Rofi launcher working, hopefully. So, and then beyond that, Ubuntu font. I'm fond of Ubuntu font, so we'll go ahead and install that. And while we are at it, might as well get the GIMP also, and then package, just to put it under alphabetical order. And this is the GIMP we want. And then rather than just dragging this out, what I'll do is go ahead and install gthumb and then boot. I'll save folder here, and I noticed when I rebooted under KP32, I keep getting the choice of either JWM or SJW, and it's because these two choices are I can rename this F2 and rename this to let's see, for example, Z, and it will not show up as one of the folders now because I renamed it. And furthermore, what I can do is just I can still copy things off of this, but let me just be more complete and just change this to JWM. When you So then it will just show up as one choice when I reboot into upupkk. When I'll just have one choice then when I reboot into KP32, and this will automatically load up. So another thing is that although despite having I thought I copied the JWM personnel file into the new here, but none of the keyboards working. So let me take a quick look at the Genie. So you notice that Rock's Fowler background has changed, so we expected that. Here I can see that my usual keyboard key binding are not present here. That's why I'm not getting any I can't launch any keyboard commands. So let me just go back into this here, which is the older configuration, which works well. So let me just get into a personnel. So this is the one that I'm used to, and this one does indeed contain the same correct the scripts and so on. So let me just copy this from the old, Control A and Control C, and then put it into the new one here. So let me just Control A and Control B. Now it's copied, and we need to save this. So we saved it, and then now I want to restart JWM. So let me just go ahead and here, let's see if I can get I'm getting JWM restart and exit. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and exit here, exit. Now I should have a keyboard binding that works. So let me just go ahead and close it all. Okay, now my keyboard is Shift Control X just closes all the open so the key binding works. So let me go ahead and Control Spacebar. It should launch Rofi, which it does. So so this works. Okay, and then CPU frequency scaling tool. Let me just go ahead and launch that. And right now is on demand. And let me just put that's fine. I will just leave it as it is. So I think while we're at it, what we'll do is we'll just try to make some changes to the virtual screen and this tray, which is tray number 2. So let me just go ahead and open up Genie with the Super E, and then we need to get hold of the file which is JWM folder here, and tray number 2 will load up the tray number 2, and then we'll also load up the one from the save folder. So with under save folder of so we'll go ahead and look at JWM save folder tray number 2. This one has been configured correctly because but it's on a legacy BIOS computer. So let me just grab all and copy, and then we'll go ahead and copy it, overwrite into the tray number 2 here, and we'll go ahead and save. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and make minor changes here to a Genie. So preference and load files and So miscellaneous is fine. Interface is what we want. We don't want a symbol list. We don't want this. We just want the documents. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then symbol list, we want to make this a little bit larger, so we'll go ahead and try to make it maybe 13, so it'll be much larger. And then notebook tabs, toolbar, okay, we'll just add this here, so append, and then images only, and let's see what that looks like. So yeah, I'd rather just have it on one line here, and that looks fine. Okay, so we made that change into tray number 2, and then Control-Shift-R is going to restart JWM. So Control-Shift-R, restart JWM. Let's see. Now it's you notice that he puts it up above. Okay, so still we only have 3, and then that's going to be let me just document line wrapping. So we're still having only 3, and we need I believe that's under theme. So let's take a look. And then we'll go ahead and close. And now the you notice the test bar is up here now with the 6 virtual screens. And let me show you how I did it. So we'll just open up Genie, and then under personnel, I simply made this change here, number of virtual screen, virtual desktops under JWMRC personnel, and made 1 into 2. Just changed the 2 and saved and rebooted JWM restart again, and it made that change. So and also the theme, I overwritten the theme. You can see the theme is changed because of this red color now, which was black before, and I prefer this arrangement. So I simply opened up the previous theme that was working on the upupkk+dsave. So I just simply copied this, grabbed it all, and then copied that into the JWM here, and saved, and then rebooted, and this is what I got. Again, we can see that I'm getting the title bar on Genie, which I prefer not to have, and we'll take a brief look at the personnel file. And here, personnel file, we've lost that those no title bar setting and so on. It's because what I have done is use this desktop settings, and when I make changes to tray and so on, it conflicts with it overwrites the JWM personnel. So from now on we will not do that. So we'll just go ahead and go under personnel again, and then grab the portion where the disable shade and so on these here. And in fact, we can just grab the whole thing. Actually, we can just overwrite the whole thing. We'll just go ahead and overwrite. We know that this is all correct, so we'll just go ahead and overwrite it here, and then save. And then we should lose some of these title bar settings like here. So we'll go ahead and JWM restart, and then we we notice that it's changed. So there's also the title bar is also changed here. Okay. So what else? So right now that we're missing a small icon, red icon here, which I have it here. So Control X will bring up several rocks filer, and under here, under 32-bit, what I need to do is copy the PNG files from this folder. So we'll go ahead and open up URXVT here and copy. There's only 2 files, and then we'll copy that to USR share pixmaps and then puppy, and then so it's copied here, and then simply we need to restart the JWM again, and now you see that there's a little extra icon, puppy face here. So that's all pretty much what I wanted to do, and then we'll go ahead and so these are some of the little tricks that I've accumulated, and for me this works. But obviously you will not have a red puppy red PNG, so your mile you may have to modify what the hints that I've given you so far. So one of the other things that we did besides the Vivaldi was to the dead beef. So dead beef likewise should start on the I think the 5th. We'll see. Let me just close everything, and then I can just launch dead beef with the super M. Let's see, and then we can see that it actually got it started on 4th. So 4th virtual desktop. So right here, and then we can see. Go ahead and. Okay. So you can see on a dead beef, Korean characters don't show up. So what I need to do is go ahead and fire up find, and then I happen to know iname BAEKMUK is the keyword, and it'll show me where the fonts are located. So let me just go ahead and let it go ahead and search the so we can go ahead and stop, and then we can try to grab the so it's under, so we can go ahead and track that down. So we'll go into save folder, so it'll be save folder will be here, and save folder, and we can go into pup64 save BSP here, and then US share and it'll be fonts and true type. So right here. Okay, so what we can do is just go ahead and open up here, and then so USR, we'll go into USR share fonts here, and then here's TTF, true type. Okay, so the true type is here. and then we can go ahead and simply grab Control PAKMUK, and then we'll just go ahead and move that over. I might as well grab the other fonts also, and then move that over and drag it over here. So now we'll close it, and then we'll go ahead and open up the so now the Korean characters are correct, so I can tell right away. Okay, so I've although normally you should be able to download Korean fonts through the Puppy Package Manager, it doesn't work for some reason. It fails to download the fonts correctly, so I've simply just copied from another save folder. So that's what I just showed you. Okay, and I think we're pretty much at the end here. So we got the browser working. So this is the Vivaldi, and Control W in my case. And it so being what's called the portable package under OPT, it has its own configuration embedded within it. So this is all configuration profile and all that. So you don't. So it doesn't. It also does not show up in the menu. So you just have to learn to use Rofi, and also realize that it does not, generally speaking, it shows up in a menu. So, but I don't use a menu per se. Once here, once I get it all set up, I tend to use Rofi. So, okay, that's it. I think that's about it. So these are has to do with configuration within the Vivaldi of how you want to manage the tabs and so on. Okay, thanks. I hope it makes sense.